Hello and welcome everybody inside of the Taproom. This week on the happy hour we have a couple of very special guests, a couple of the regulars here in the Taproom, our little virtual bar that we see pretty regularly. So first up we have the Some Guy 1992, better known throughout the rest of this episode and every other one that he appears on as simply Dakota. Dakota, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. Or if you watch Among Us, I am Ricky Chong.
He is indeed Ricky Chong, or the sheriff at times. Or no, you're the deputy.
No, I was the sheriff when Brandon wasn't here.
That's right. And the other guest that we have saddling up to the bar, we have Caden 1995, which you might know as, shocker, Caden. Caden, how's it going today?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I am great. I am, as always, your bartender. My name is Brew, and let me ask you guys, in keeping with tradition, what are you having today here in the tap room? I'm sipping on some Jameson with you guys.
I'm sipping on some white wine, actually.
Ooh.
I'm more of a red wine guy myself, but we are out of that, so had to go to the reserve today.
You drink what you got, and
Exactly.
Dakota, you probably aren't going to be drinking much today. It's a good thing that we're doing this virtually because you don't have much of a sense of taste right now, do you?
No, I am technically drinking a Pepsi, but if I were going to drink alcohol, I would have an Irish root beer. I have the ingredients.
Can you tell the audience what's in an Irish root beer? Because I will get it wrong. I know a lot of standard cocktails. That is not a standard one.
So it is 1 ounce of Bailey's Irish Cream, 1 ounce of butterscotch schnapps, 2 ounces of Jameson Irish whiskey,
Now you're speaking
and
my
10
language.
ounces of root beer, of whatever your preference is. And what I add to the mix that the recipe doesn't call for is I add a little bit of vanilla extract.
I also think that if you were to top that off with some whipped cream and maybe some freshly ground nutmeg on top, that would probably... Ooh,
That sounds pretty fuego.
it does. Now, one thing that we're doing differently for this episode that we don't usually do, because of time management's sake, we've had a bit of an interesting week because, as I alluded to earlier, Dakota has COVID, doing off and on pretty well so far.
It could be a lot worse. I'm home.
Probably for the best. So getting a time to record this episode was pretty difficult. So for time management's sake, unlike episodes in the past where I will post record some gameplay, I'm actually recording it as we're going. So Kate and I are playing Rocket League live. Dakota, he's over playing Temtem, which if you don't know what Temtem is, it's an indie version of Pokemon that is available cross-platform with co-op, and it's one that's been on at least my radar for a while.
Yeah, it's in early access, so trying it out while I can.
Full release should be coming out pretty soon, but I think it's only on PlayStation 5, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
PC and then PS5 as of right now. I don't know if it's on Xbox at all, but unfortunately it's not on PS4.
Yeah. Which sucks specifically for me. I am the only person on this podcast that does not presently have a PlayStation 5 because I'm a peasant or lazy. A little column A, a little column B.
It's also really hard to lock one down right now, though, to be fair.
Ugh. Well, to be fair too, even if you did order one, there's no guarantee that it will take a month and a half to receive.
Yeah, and
Nice little segue into Dakota's story.
I'm assuming, Dakota, because I already know the answer to this question, that you are speaking definitely not from personal experience, right?
What? I don't know what you're talking about. I definitely didn't order from FedEx and have my package stolen, and then have them lie about it.
No way.
That'd be ridiculous. A
Inconceivable.
far-fetched story would never happen in reality. Let's move on.
So, tell us about that experience. Who did you even order specifically through? Who was the vendor?
So I bought it from GameStop, but because of the way COVID is and just how high demand PS5s are, they only did online orders. I managed to get one through some connections and some luck. But whenever it was supposed to arrive, it kept on getting delayed until it went to just pending. And when I went to saw it said pending, I went to go pick up the package myself because it was at a location that was 20 minutes away from my house. And when they went to find it, it was no longer there.
Sweet.
You know, I'll save, the filing the claim part and all that stuff. Long story short, when they updated me, they said it was delivered to my house 2 days before I filed the claim.
Which, slightly untrue.
And so I had to go to GameStop and they filed a claim. What FedEx didn't realize is that I took pictures of every single email they sent me and every single delivery date that it said it was going to do. And I handed it to them as evidence. And from what I understand, they are filing a suit against them as we speak. But they also filed a claim for my PS5 and got me another one. And this one actually arrived on time.
Jesus.
Yeah, surprisingly.
When you sent us a picture in the group chat that we have, I woke up to it, and I woke up to somebody saying, I want to say it was Caden saying, just a watch is just filled with a bunch of bricks.
And if I ordered from Wish, that would probably be true. But
So true. Yeah, I saw, because I was heavy into that, as you guys know, I was heavy into the PS5 subreddit when I was ordering mine and everything, and some desperate individual did actually purchase one from Wish, and I had saved the post with the intention of going back to see if there was any sort of update, but I had not checked. I'll have to check it out at some point soon and see, but...
Well, now we have a cliffhanger. What
legit.
happened to the guy who ordered a PlayStation 4 from Wish?
Right. I would not be surprised if he just got his money refunded or maybe saw nothing at all. Who knows?
he got the box.
Yeah, exactly. Empty box.
I like how nobody, not a soul on this earth is sitting there expecting that he actually got a PlayStation 4, 5.
Oh, no. Yeah. Not at all. Oh, boy. I messed that up.
I'd be more surprised if he did get one.
Right?
Yeah, oh, seriously.
But
You never know. I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of miracle out there.
Well, we're gonna transition just a little bit, and here's something that we haven't yet done on the happy hour. I've gotten a lot of feedback and comments about this, and the general vibe that I want to set up here is pretty simply, we're inside of the virtual bar, which I have called the Taproom. The podcast is called the Happy Hour, which, to make sense, I of course upload at fucking 2 p.m. on Sundays. This is supposed to be a bar, so the conversations that we're having are the ones that you would have just saddled up to a bar with a friend of yours, a bartender, your regular at a place. And one thing that we haven't touched on, even though I am literally in school just about to finish up a degree for this shit, is sports journalism. We haven't talked about sports a single time on this goddamn podcast. But There's a little something coming up pretty soon, isn't there, guys? It's championship week in football, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
And you know this Wisconsin boy is happy.
Oh, yeah. Sadly, I can't say the same for myself, but it's okay.
So, why don't you guys tell us about what your postseason experience has been like? Because I know both of you guys are big into football, like I am.
Oh, yeah. Dakota, you want to start with your tale? I'm still coming to terms with mine.
Well, you know, I don't really have much of a tale because my favorite team did not make the postseason at all this year. There's the Atlanta Falcons. I died a little bit inside back when they blew the Super Bowl back in, I believe, 2016, and that piece of soul has not returned ever since.
I'd be shocked if it did. Honestly, when that Super Bowl was going down, I don't think I've ever told you this. I watched all of it live up until like midway through the third quarter, and I said what I assume a lot of Falcons fans said. Oh, they've got this. Not even worth watching anymore. I turned it off, and I was getting my phone was blowing up with text messages. And people were just going crazy about what was going on in the game. And I was like, what the fuck did I miss? I never brought it up to you. I didn't say a goddamn word because I was sitting there like, no, I'm not going to be the guy that asks him. I'm just not going to fucking do it. I was up with my girlfriend at the time, and I audibly told her like, yeah, I am not going to speak to him for a little while.
Yeah, that one was probably stung for a bit.
It still stings, honestly. 4 years later.
That one's gonna stick with you for a little bit.
Yep. Still wake up in a cold sweat at night.
But the other team that
then,
you root for,
which is the Titans, and that's because I lived in Tennessee for the better part of 20 years.
I was about to say most of your life.
Yeah. Of course, they did pretty well this season. They played a solid game against the Ravens, but the Ravens just had a better week.
Didn't play well against the Packers, did they?
Yeah. Well, they didn't play.
Just gonna let it go.
I will say, yeah, I'm just gonna let it go, and then you know, you could say that it's the Titans team, or you could just say it was Derrick Henry versus the world, and I mean, he generally won in each of those matchups. He did all right against the Packers.
I think honestly what's funny is they called it a down game for him, and he still got almost 100 yards on the ground. Like, holy shit, that's what we call bad for this man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, when 98 yards is considered to be a bad game for you, you know you have some high standards.
For sure.
You've made it. But would it honestly be more apt at this point, not so much to call them the Tennessee Titans so much as the Tennessee Derrick Henrys?
You know, I'll just go with whatever name Derrick Henry decides because I don't want to be stiff-armed into the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, understandable.
And
he can call that team whatever he wants.
This just have the GM call him up like, hey Derek, this is your team now. Have fun. How much money do you want? The entire payroll? Fine. That sounds fair.
So I was thinking of a new name. I think it should be called the Patriots. Derek, that name's already taken. Well, that's the name I want. All right, we'll see what we can do. That's the response I expect.
Yeah. And
they'll make it happen.
And Caden, you've got a slightly different story. You are from Ohio, and very clearly that means that you root for the New England Patriots, right?
No, of course, yeah. Naturally. No. Still doesn't make much sense, but I am a Steelers fan, so we unfortunately Fell to the Cleveland Browns 2 weeks in a row to end the season, and then in the playoffs, as I did not see coming whatsoever. So, props to them for that. It was much deserved after years of turmoil, as much as I hate to say it. So, I guess it's slightly good to see some success after they've had a lot of years of underproduction.
Well, I can tell you from personally witnessing a bad side of history like that, not to the same extent, that it doesn't exactly help. That you can say, oh yeah, I saw history. It meant that my team fucking lost, but I still saw history.
Yeah, I think they scored the most points in the first quarter in playoff history or something like that, and then Ben Roethlisberger, I think, threw the most passing attempts and for the most passing yards in a playoff game. So there was records on both sides, equally as depressing.
Yeah, the bit of history that I've seen, famously, I'm sure even you guys know this one, is that getting tickets to see a Packers game at Lambeau is ludicrously difficult. Like, they've sold out something absurd, like 200 or 300 straight games at Lambeau, which dates back literally my entire life. And my sister-in-law's dad has gold package tickets, which here's some fun Packers trivia for you. Back in the 90s, there was actually a time where not all Packers games were played at Lambeau Field. There were certain games that were hosted inside of the Brewers' home stadium, which at the time was called County Stadium. And people who had season tickets for those games, once they stopped doing that, which was when Miller Park got built, when now American Family Insurance Field, or American Family Field, I think it's just called, they honored the commitment that those fans had and now give 2 regular season games specifically to so-called gold package season ticket holders. And my
That's pretty sweet.
sister-in-law's dad, I think it went back to her grandfather, was one of those season ticket holders. And my brother was bringing it up to me. It's like, hey, do you want to see the Packers at Lambeau? And it's like, no, I have no interest in seeing the Packers at Lambeau. Fuck yes, I want to go.
Yeah, why would I?
And I got the privilege to, for the low fee of $90, to not sit even with the 3 other people who shared the tickets with me, sit on the other fucking side of the field and watch the Packers play the Detroit Lions, which ordinarily would be great, because
Right.
the Lions, and I think even Lions fans at this point would say they are, that's a game that you can pretty well chalk up for the opponent.
They're in a
continuing
rut,
on the
to say
legacy of the
least.
Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, right. They passed the torch.
Yeah. Well, this was 5 years ago, I want to say. Well, now 6, actually. It was a beautiful fucking November day. We drove up from Milwaukee, which was about a 3-hour drive because of probably closer to 4 because of traffic. And I got the distinct pleasure of watching the Green Bay Packers lose to the Detroit Lions in Lambeau for the first time since before I was born.
How's it feel to be a part of history?
It feels
Right.
fucking phenomenal. I saw the game losing kick that Mason Crosby was kicking towards me. Like, I was sitting right in between the uprights towards the end zone that he was kicking into, and we all freaked out because we were just like, oh, the kick kind of sputtered out, and we were just like, oh, it got blocked, no problem. And then somebody behind us started just shouting like, oh, fuck, son of a bitch, fuck. And we were like, what the fuck is going on? Why is there somebody just yelling? Like, I get that we just lost, but like we didn't think we stood a chance at halftime. And finally he didn't have it blocked, he just booted it. What?
Excuse me?
And we all crowded around like one person's phone, and we're just sitting there looking at the replay of it on his phone, and just the entire section, a couple hundred people were just yelling obscenities for everybody around the stadium to hear.
Oh.
And I met up with my brother and my sister-in-law and her sister. And they were just like, so you were sitting in that end zone. What actually happened? It's like, oh, we didn't see until we looked at fucking somebody's phone, and yeah, Mason Crosby sucks. That's what fucking happened.
It wasn't pretty.
Not the outcome that we were looking for.
Yeah, always painful. I've been to a few Steelers games in person, some good, some bad. I went to, in high school, a Monday night game against the Ravens. It was when we had Byron Leftwich as our backup, and he actually had the start because Ben was hurt. And we lost the game. It was still a fun time. But first drive, I think we had the ball. He ended up pulling off a pretty nice rushing touchdown, broke a couple tackles, and I was like, oh yeah, for sure. And then he hurt himself, I think, on the same play or the ensuing drive. I want to say it was the same play. And I don't remember who came in afterwards. We might have still had, I don't think we still had Charlie Batch at the time, but honestly may have been Charlie Batch who came in afterwards, and it was just a downhill slope from there.
Old man Batch.
Yes, exactly. Charlie Batch, my man. I love the guy.
Man, those are some names that you don't think about fucking ever, and probably for good reason.
Right.
Byron Leftwich, fuck. Oh my god.
Right. And it sucks too because he used to have the Steelers' number when he played for Jacksonville. Like, we could never beat that team when Byron Leftwich was at the helm.
That's right. I remember that. Oh my god.
They were our Achilles heel for a while.
They're a lot of people's Achilles heel. Like the Packers this year almost lost to them. They've got fucking one goddamn win going into the game, and it was like a field goal separating the teams.
Mm-hmm.
Christ. Wow, we
mean,
got.
They may be must-see TV though this fall because Urban Meyer and then potentially what's his name?
Trevor Lawrence, yeah.
Yeah, so that could actually be pretty interesting. As much as I am an Ohio State hater and an Urban Meyer denier.
Yeah, see, this is one thing that Caden and I can agree on. Like, I know a lot of football fans. They like to sit there and hate on a few teams, among other reasons because we've had success. So the Steelers, the Packers, for sure, right up there, probably with the Patriots and.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think of other teams that just get nothing but vitriol from most of the NFL. Honestly, none of them are popping into my head.
Yeah, the Cowboys get a lot of hate, but not
that one's deserved.
Necessarily because of good performance. That's also deserved, yeah.
That one's just because I will not apologize to the fans of the Dallas Cowboys, but fuck the fans of the Dallas Cowboys, just like fuck Ohio State University.
Yeah. America's team, baby.
Yeah, oh my god, the audacity of that bitch.
Oh, please.
Call yourself America's team.
Painful.
America's team is only actually I don't think they've had a NFC championship since 1997 or a little bit before that.
It had to have been right around that because they beat the Steelers in the '95 Super Bowl. So
and the since Tom Brady has been in the league, he has appeared, or as of Sunday will have appeared during his career in more NFC championship games than the Dallas Cowboys.
Sheesh.
Which is an absurd stat. I heard that and I literally didn't believe it. This man has been in the AFC with the Patriots for his entire career except for 1 year. He goes to the NFC Championship game, and sure shit, I look it up, and yeah, the Cowboys have not been in that entire fucking time. Which,
Man,
how Cowboy fans are not suddenly saying it's the curse of Tom Brady that their team suddenly is dog shit is beyond me, because football and sports fans in general will try to find any superstition that they can.
oh, you're right about that. I am quite superstitious in terms of my gear and things on game day.
Oh,
That way. It's just
same
I can't
here.
help it.
During the course of the season, you will actually never catch me wearing Packers gear, because I didn't have it for a long time growing up. I mean, football gear is expensive, and my family didn't grow up with a ton of money, so having gear like that was a luxury that we couldn't afford.
For sure.
And I got just a hoodie to wear for the Detroit Lions game that I was at, that the Packers also appeared in for the second half. And I wore that hoodie. So it was a November day, but it was 60 degrees, so we didn't need to wear anything else. It was gorgeous outside, especially for November.
Oh, for sure.
But we lost, and so I was just like, I never wore Packers gears during Packers games before. They always perform pretty well, but the one goddamn time that I wear a Packers thing for a Packers game, we lose, I refuse to wear it. I got an Aaron Rodgers jersey from my brother the couple of times that I wore it. He performed like shit, namely this early on in the season when the Packers played the Buccaneers and got their asses beat. I was wearing that
that's
jersey.
The one game that I've watched.
And I was just, I'm not fucking doing this. So the fact that that Cowboys fans are not rising up to try to force Tom Brady out of the league is actually a little surprising to me.
You're right. Yeah, I didn't even realize that they have been on that long of a dry spell.
Yeah, it has been that long. Now we do have somebody else joining the tap room really quickly here. I'm gonna give him a quick introduction. You may know him from Discord and from Among Us Sundays as Shadow Inception or the Sheriff. We know him as Brandon. Brandon, welcome into the tap room. How are you doing, my guy?
It's good to be here.
What are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm just hopping on Rocket League right now with you guys. So, what's been the topic for the podcast today?
We have been talking about football. You come to this conversation with a bit of an interesting perspective, because you are the one person here right now that did not grow up loving football. You are, in fact, a communist. I mean, Canadian.
Nope. No, like I said, after playing Madden with you guys, I've enjoyed the sport. Like I said, I only know like big name players and still don't really understand the plays, but I still enjoy watching it.
And how long ago do you remember was that we convinced you, coerced you to play Madden with us?
That was the cover with Odell Beckham Jr. And I remember when we did our little roll for our teams, I got the Giants, and you guys all flipped out because that's when Odell was, I guess, not at his prime, but just, coming into being a star, and you guys were all saying how I had the best wide receiver. And I remember playing the game, and that's all I never ran. I just threw. I remember the leaderboards for wide receivers. It was the top 3 were just my guys. And then once I started, you can't throw the ball every time, then I actually started looking at the plays and running the ball more often. Still couldn't beat you guys. I could beat the computer. Still couldn't beat you when we got to the playoffs. That's just because of your guys' experience, and you've been playing the game a lot longer.
Yeah, skill-based
and know the
games
sport a lot
like
longer.
that. They it doesn't matter how long you put into the game, though. Just straight up, the person who is the most talented with that particular game is going to find a way to win. That's just how it is. But digress and get back to what we were going to talk about, we got a nice little segue talking about Tom Brady. This week, this Sunday, right before the podcast gets put out there, we are going to have the NFC Championship game. Right after that, the AFC Championship game, and I am really the only one that's happy about that situation here.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
It's because I've got Aaron God out there playing quarterback, having the fucking time of his life. What are you guys thinking? What are you guys feeling coming into the championship games? Who are you picking? Let's get right.
I gotta go with Bills Mafia, baby.
I was gonna say we know what comes
Bills
coming out
Mafia,
of Brandon's
baby.
mouth. Bills Mafia, baby. Yeah, I'll echo Bills Mafia, and in terms of the AFC, I think the
Do we
it's gonna
know
be a
if
tough
Mahomes
game
is
in terms-
playing yet?
I don't know. I don't know if we know for certain or not, to be honest.
Let's just be honest. They're going to
He
dump
shouldn't.
a giant pile of cash in that doctor's lap to say that he can play.
He
he's
seems
not.
fine.
He's going in with concussion and coming out brain dead. But he's got the ring. He's got the back-to-back.
That
At least he repeated.
watching him get up from that hit was legitimately scary. Like, he straight up looked like he was standing on a boat.
Oh, it was bad. Yeah, sea legs.
I've gotten 3 major concussions in my life, and I can tell you right now, if they let him play, the NFL does not care about the injuries for their players. Watching that was legitimately scary, specifically to me. Like, I'm taken back to the last concussion that I got, and I'm just sitting there going, yeah, fucking no.
Yeah, no thanks.
That man has no place on the football field this Sunday.
No, I agree with you.
I watched the
Yeah.
highlight a bunch of times, and I don't know, it didn't look, the tackle didn't look too painful. Yeah, like he wrapped him around his neck, but I guess the way he folded up on his body and the weight, I guess that's what made him get the concussion. Looks like he got choked out more than he actually did, whacking his head off the ground.
Yeah.
But I'm no doctor.
That's just the way that he got up was enough for me to look at and go, oh my god. No. Just no. But honestly, I don't know what it is. Like, the Packers got their asses beat by the Buccaneers. What was that, like week 6 or something like that? I feel really good coming into this game.
Yeah, I mean, rightfully so. I feel like you should. But Tom Brady's gonna put on some sort of performance, no matter what, as he always seems to do. As much as I hate to say it, I feel like he'll keep it competitive. But
honestly, though, I was saying the same thing last year, and the Titans managed to shut him down. He was objectively with a better coach. I don't think a better team, but the coaching situation was definitely better than it is now.
yeah,
Like, no disrespect meant to Bruce Arians, but if you're gonna compare coaching situations, the Patriots are always gonna come out on top.
he's digressed ever since he left Pittsburgh. It's okay.
But I mentioned to you, Luke, I'm telling you, I mentioned this to you, I feel that Aaron Rodgers is in a different mindset since this season. He seems like he's locked in, and he's going all the way.
Oh yeah,
He just seems like a different person this season compared to his other seasons. He just seems like a different person this season.
There is something about the way that Aaron Rodgers looks specifically on the football field. Like, you can see it the way that he's in interviews right now, but he's really loose. He's locked in. He's having more fun than I've seen him have since 2010, which Caden will remember as a Steelers fan.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Hang on, does anybody happen to remember who was in the Super Bowl in 2010? I'm drawing a fucking blank.
I don't
Was it
remember.
Steelers Cardinals?
Ah,
Is that the Super Bowl?
I wish.
I think it might have had something to do with this with the Steelers. It's hard to say.
No.
It was the Steelers versus the Packers, and just the Packers were coming into the postseason. They didn't play well during the rest of the season, but Aaron Rodgers got dialed in right towards the end of the season. They took the momentum into the postseason and were just fucking unstoppable. I mean, we played the number 1 defense in the NFL, and everybody kept saying, oh, the Rams defense is going to be too much for them. The number 1 defense, and we won by 2 touchdowns. Like, it wasn't even close. We scored 32 off of the Rams. Like, there's just something about this team. They have something to play for with David Bakhtiari going down to injury for the rest of the season. Like, they're all saying, do it for Bach. There's something about it. I really feel like this might be the year that the Packers get Aaron Rodgers his second Super Bowl. I don't want to jinx it, but that's the way that I'm feeling personally.
Well, Tom Brady says he has no plans on retiring anytime in the future.
I look at
So
the way
could
that
that
he
be
played
the same
this
for
year. I mean,
Aaron Rodgers?
So, with that in mind, who retires first, Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady?
I'm going with Aaron Rodgers retiring first over
I'm
Tom
going
Brady.
with Tom Brady retiring first. And contract has just about everything to do with that. So Aaron Rodgers just started his contract extension. He's really getting the big bucks now. I mean, he's getting all of that State Farm and shit money from endorsements. But his base salary is finally, where you would expect one of the all-time greats to be. And the Packers spent their first-round draft pick this last year to get angry Aaron Rodgers. If you guys don't know, it's pretty well documented that the Packers selected a quarterback in the first round specifically to light a fire under Aaron Rodgers' ass, and I would say it worked.
After this season, they just get rid of that first-round draft pick.
The crazy thing is that, like, people were saying we spent our first-round draft pick on a backup, and he's not even our backup. He's our third string. They looked at him and all of his film throughout this year and went, nah, I don't think he's quite good enough to be even the backup to Aaron Rodgers.
How old is the guy?
Aaron Rodgers or the
No,
kid?
Aaron Rodgers, the first-round draft pick they picked up.
21, 22.
Okay, so yeah, he's still got time to hone his craft.
Yeah. What's crazy is that the contracts come up at the exact same time. The first round draft picks contract ends the exact same year that Aaron Rodgers' contracts end. So
this is a good question for you. What do the Packers have to do to get over the Bucks? What should they do to get past them?
Well, the big thing that led to the Packers losing the game against the Buccaneers the first time that they played was our run defense was kind of listless at the time. And after that, I was shocked. I thought that our defense was shit, and I was looking up the numbers like, no, they were the number 9 defense in the NFL. So for the Packers to win, what they need to do is they need to do a better job of protecting Aaron Rodgers than they did in the first matchup, because the Buccaneers were getting to him just fucking every play. If the pass protection is there and Rodgers gets time, then they're in good shape.
Okay.
If the defense can do anything to stop the Buccaneers running game, the Packers will win.
So it seems like they just got to run the ball a little bit more often to tire out the Bucks.
If the running game can get going, which will be a little tough this time, we aren't sure if all of our running backs are going to be fully healthy. Then the Packers will have just a little more trouble, but there's a lot that needs to happen for this game. But I would say personally, from somebody that knows football and that wants to cover sports for a living, that the keys to this game would be the Packers getting the run game going, the Packers protecting Aaron Rodgers, and the Packers defense stopping the run game, which they have been able to do. I mean, they held Derrick Henry, who's I think consensus to be probably the best offensive player in football right now, with maybe the exception of Patrick Mahomes. But even so, I think I would honestly give the edge to Derrick Henry. They held him to 90 yards, and that was an empiric victory. I remember watching the Reddit leading up to that game against the Titans, and just like, oh yeah, the Packers are doing great, and then the second that you remember that they're gonna get run over all over by Derrick Henry.
No, he decided to do that the next week.
Yeah, you got, what was it, 200 yards?
256.
Jesus Christ. That is why I say he's the best offensive player in football right now. Like, you know what the Chiefs have besides Patrick Mahomes, and you can plan for one thing or another. But there is no other team where you have to sit there and go, this one guy we need to plan for, specifically this one dick, and he still manages to succeed. It's absurd.
Yeah, especially at the running back position, because, I mean, you expect quarterbacks to put up numbers, put up yards, so it's almost to be expected, but running back is a one-man show.
Yeah.
Quarterback has all the outlets. You know, you have your receivers to make plays for you, make you look good, but running back is, it's all on you.
When you're running back, the running game is you. Like, the passing game is a combination, the quarterback, the receivers, the blocking. But the run game, if you are the type of running back where teams need to plan for you, it's because you make shit happen, and Derrick Henry makes shit happen. It's absurd watching that man work. He's got to be, honestly, the best running back that I've seen in my lifetime. I don't think there's anybody overall that I've seen that just takes a game over like he does.
Yeah.
Talking about your boy here, and you're being surprisingly quiet, the lone Titans fan in the crowd.
You know, I was just sitting here thinking if there was anyone else. I think Adrian Peterson would have to be in that talk.
Oh,
as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Who we've seen in our lifetime. He was pretty, he was a cheat code for a while there in Minnesota.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Oh, yeah,
And then
you'll
there's
know
different types.
far well.
I remember LaDainian Tomlinson being pretty dominating, but he was more of a touchdown machine than he was a yards machine.
Yeah,
For sure.
Derrick Henry, you give him the ball and okay, here's a 30-yard run because he's fucking bored. We gave him a couple plays to rest. Now he's got fresh legs.
Yeah. And you'd prefer to be in front of Derrick Henry rather than at the side.
Yeah. you're like, you assume that he's gonna truck you, but that man will stiff arm you into a different fucking world.
Honestly, though.
Yeah. For me, if I'm picking the games, I think that this week Packers versus Tampa Bay, with the momentum that the Packers are riding after taking on the number one defense and kicking their ass, I genuinely think that the Packers are going to win it, and I'm not sure it's going to be even close.
See, I actually think the Bucks are going to win it. I think that they're on a win streak as well, but I think it's going to be really close.
Yeah. I don't know if I can't call it for certain one way or the other, but I was kind of feeling that as well. I know that it's going to be at least close.
Yeah, it's gonna be tight.
But I don't know. I have too many bad memories of Tom Brady in playoffs. I know that there has been times that he hasn't looked so good, but I think he's out to prove that he is not just a system quarterback, and it truly was him, winning those championships in New England and not just Bill.
And now we can see what happened with the Patriots, and it's not Bill Belichick.
Right, exactly. I mean, they crumbled this year, and Cam Newton's...
I can't blame Cam Newton. Like, he's coming into a new team.
Goodness.
And all the controversy that's around Cam Newton.
He had no help, too. His receivers were just
that team
shit.
was just straight up not good this year.
No.
Like, Julian Edelman's still a wide receiver for the Patriots, I'm pretty sure, isn't he?
He was hurt for a lot. He's just getting too old.
He also...
he was also some controversy, too, wasn't he?
Yeah, because he did steroids, a lot of them.
I thought it was, like, abuse against a woman or something, I thought.
Oh, God.
That's Kareem Hunt.
Oh, okay.
That's true. What wasn't the other Tyreek Hill? Didn't he?
Tyreek Hill.
Didn't he beat the shit out of somebody too? But he's really talented, so people were okay with it.
That's, an unfortunate thing that seems to happen.
You beat the shit out of your girlfriend, but what was your 40 time?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, we can forgive that.
But just
just this one time.
Yeah, I remember when all of that happened. Like it was the exact same season. It was Kareem Hunt, Tyreek Hill. They were both talked about like, oh, really big fucking deals. And Kareem Hunt, he got let go the second that it came out. Like, oh yeah, we're not going to tolerate this. And then a couple of weeks later, Tyreek Hill had happened. They suspended him for a couple of weeks, and they were just like, oh yeah, he served his time. How many receiving yards did he get last week? 200? Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, that's how it goes when you're a professional athlete. You can get away with murder. Look at OJ.
Yeah, so for me personally, just with how closely I've followed the Packers and how well I know the NFC, this week for the NFC Championship game, the big edge... what you guys weren't thinking about is that this is at Lambeau, and the Buccaneers team, with the exception of Brady, because Gronk is 2 years removed from the league, he hasn't spent a lot. They haven't spent time in cold weather, and it's weather in Green Bay on Sunday. It's gonna fucking suck.
What about Antonio Brown? What do you think he's going to be doing this game?
I think he's going to get really fucking high. I think he's going to try running for the end zone. He's going to mistake the end zone with this woman that he's been texting, and he's just going to start running in the wrong direction. It's not going to be like that, but he is a douche. They are just not a team that's built for cold weather. The Packers are used to it. They've already had a snow bowl this year, and it is supposed to snow on Sunday with fans in the stands. You're gonna tell me that the Buccaneers are gonna be perfectly prepared for cold weather, snow, and roughly 10,000 very intoxicated Wisconsinites screaming at them that they suck? Nah.
Well,
you never
Tom
know.
Brady. Tom and Gronk are used to the cold. They played. It snowed. When they're
that's why I said Tom Brady. He's perfectly. He is perfectly prepared, but Gronkowski, he's 2 years removed from the league. He's not.
Oh yeah.
He retired. Remember, he was busy.
As I'm doing air quotations here, retired.
Right.
AKA waiting for Tom Brady to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be a good game though, for sure. I will be tuning in.
Oh,
Obviously.
you know I'm gonna be. We have our weekly Among Us Sundays, and I am gonna be late for it.
Yeah,
Gonna be a little preoccupied.
I work,
Wait for
so
your
I'll
own stream.
be.
Somebody was saying something.
I was say I work this weekend, so I'll be watching the scores from my phone.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, got disconnected.
But how many people do you have to keep out of the zoo in COVID?
Well, we're closed, so mostly night shifts. Night shifts are really easy. So we talked a little about Tom and Aaron. How do we think Bills Mafia and Chief game is going to go down?
Oh,
I think it might. I think it might be a blowout.
I think so too.
I think it really depends on what's going to happen with Mahomes. See, I don't think he's going to be even remotely close to 100%. So even if they try forcing him out there, if he gets his bell rung a single time, he might be dead. Just straight up die on the field.
Where is the game being held? Is it in Buffalo?
It is going to be in Kansas City.
Oh, okay. So home turf advantage.
I do not. Oh, but you're gonna mention fucking home field advantage for Patrick Mahomes and his gelatin brain right now. But not.
I didn't know the Packers were at home based.
Yeah, it's at home with fans in the stands.
Okay, so that'll be good for Rodgers.
There is a big difference between Josh Allen and Tom Brady.
Hey, I watched a highlight package.
Extremely
I watched a highlight package today of Josh Allen, and he looked really good.
He does look good for sure.
Josh Allen looks better
down.
throwing to his one receiver. What the fuck is his name?
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon
Brown
Diggs.
or something, I think his name is.
Stephon Diggs. He looks better throwing to Stephon Diggs than Tom Brady looks throwing to actually anybody on the Buccaneers. Like the team works and they do play well. But Josh Allen to Stephon Diggs is a good combination.
But you also can't count out Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and then AB if he does play. I mean,
I'm not counting them out. I'm just saying
that
in order for the Buccaneers to make any sort of waves this game, they have to do something about Stephon Diggs, and nobody's been able to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he's kind of been on a one man tear.
But I think we haven't talked about too Josh Allen, his running game. He's also made some really good running plays this year.
He's an improviser.
I think that because of the circumstances, I'm not sure there's any way that the Chiefs pull this game out. I don't see it happening for a couple of reasons. First, Patrick Mahomes, even if he does play, he's going to be playing pretty fucked up. I can only imagine that they're going to just pump him full of painkillers and call it a day. He's going to go out there fucking all sea legs and shit. Like, oh yeah, coach, I'm ready. Put me in, Andy. Let's fucking get it. So it's going to be a fucked up Patrick Mahomes or a backup quarterback versus Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, which already you're looking at a pretty hefty advantage for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. The Chiefs were looking like the team to beat up until Mahomes' injury, really, and it just kind of all
But
came
what's that
crashing
say
down.
about the Chiefs, then? If it's like you need your one guy to win and you can't win without him?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Brady.
I mean, here's...
Yeah, right.
Fuck. Here's the other thing about that, though, is that the Mahomes went down pretty late in the third quarter, and that game was still close. So let's not pretend like the Chiefs are as dominant. They don't have much of a defense, and the Browns just didn't have much of an offense that day. Whereas we're talking about now the Bills, who have a pretty fucking good defense like the Browns do, but with a much better offensive situation than the Browns have.
Like I said, they just have to run the ball. The Bills have to run the ball, tire them out, and then get their touchdowns.
I genuinely don't know what the Bills' running game situation is, so I'm not going to comment on that at fucking all, because I'm just going to sound like a jackass.
Yeah, I honestly am not sure who they've got back there.
That's what people said if Cleveland did the same thing. If they just ran the ball, they probably would have won that game, they said.
I'm going to assume, and this is a pretty safe assumption, that the Browns have a better run game situation going than the Bills have.
Just because, they've got Chubb and then Kareem Hunt, as much as I hate to say it. They've got that dual back.
We know how much Kareem Hunt likes to beat the shit out of people.
God. A loser, yeah.
Falling around Ray Rice too much.
Seriously, though.
So I'm gonna take for NFC. I'm taking the Packers, and I don't think it's gonna be close because of home field advantage and weather situation. I think both of those play pretty heavily into the Packers' favor. And for the AFC Championship game, I gotta go with Bills Mafia getting to the Super Bowl.
Bills Mafia.
Bills Mafia, baby, they're back.
Big Bills Mafia.
Let's watch some fucking 60-year-old man get dunked through a fucking fold-out table. Let's go, bitches.
Oh, I wanted to not break the first time, and he's gonna do it a second time.
They'll fucking they're gonna do it. They'll pile drive him through. Those fans are intense.
They're nuts.
I love it. I mean, how could you not?
Up when that started. Some fan created that back in 2010 or 2011 when I was doing the research.
Yeah, it was actually, it's pretty recent that they started doing wild shit like that, which, talking about wild shit and NFL fandoms, the Eagles fans that are listening are probably sitting upright like, hey, what the fuck about us?
No one cares about the Eagles.
Fuck them. Carson Wentz and his stupid fucking face.
Yeah, right. I'm with you on that. He may be out of there, who knows?
They almost made the playoffs this year.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, from the division that nobody wanted to win.
Yeah, how come nobody wants me, man?
Well, let's hear from the rest of the panel members. What are your just... We've spent a good amount of time talking about it. What's the Super Bowl going to be? Let's hear it.
I'm thinking I'll go Bills Mafia for sure on AFC, and I think NFC is going to be close. But I just to go against the grain. Well, I think Dakota may be picking the same as me. I kind of stole. I'm gonna go with the Bucks, but it's going to be very close. I just, like I said, I have PTSD with Tom Brady in the playoffs, and I can't shake it.
Yeah, you've played against him a couple of times in the postseason.
It's been painful, and not any time recently, but I have scars from being younger and a kid, so...
He wakes up screaming in the middle of the night.
That mean man, Tom!
Alright, next up, let's go with Dakota. You've been here since the start. Let's hear from you.
You know, I'm going to go against the grain on both. I think it's going to be Chiefs, Bucks.
Ooh,
and here's
Chiefs,
why.
huh?
I think they know that Mahomes is going to play, or if he does, he's not going to be in his right mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that they're going to pull out all the stops in their playbook. And I'm talking like trick plays,
That's fair.
fake punts. I'm expecting to see some wild plays this game.
They have the personnel to do that, too. I mean, got a lot of athletes. Well-rounded all over the
Because if
board.
they can make it past this game, they have 2 weeks to get Mahomes in somewhat okay condition.
Yeah.
To the point
least
where
where
he
he's
can
not wobbly.
stand himself upright without assistance.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
gonna
Post
have
up against the wall.
the normal 11 men on the field on offense, but one of them is actually just going to be standing behind Mahomes, holding him upright, like a really fucked up version of Weekend at Bernie's.
Me get Bernie's.
You stole my joke. It's literally what I was gonna say.
Weekend at Patty's. Let's fucking go, guys.
Yeah.
They hike the ball. They have to spin him around so he throws in the right direction.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
He's still going to be throwing no-look passes with just shades on, an offensive
Right.
lineman just
He's got a mustache and a drink in one hand.
my kind of game. Let's make football watchable. Let's do it. Brandon, what are you thinking? What's your Super Bowl looking like?
Well, you know me.
He
I've
wants
been
Bills
saying it ever
Mafia.
since. Bills Mafia.
Say it with me now, everybody, all at once. Bills Mafia.
Mafia. I'm riding in on a buffalo.
Riding
And I gotta
into the
go-
Super Bowl on a fucking buffalo's back with a one of those fucking double shotgun fucking beer helmets on.
And
You're going
And a
in.
plastic table set up so I could jump off the buffalo.
Jumping off the buffalo into the table. And how about from the NFC? Who's winning Bucks Packers?
You know I gotta go with my man, the Big Cheese.
The big
Let's go. Aaron, he's a bad man.
He's a bad mamma jamma.
From three drunk jackasses sitting in completely different corners of the fucking map, we are predicting a really split Super Bowl. So we've got two people saying Bills versus Packers, one person saying Bills versus Bucks, and one saying Chiefs versus Bucks. That's you have heard it here first. The Taproom. We're covering all the fucking bases.
Yeah, one of us is gonna be right.
Except
Yeah.
nobody's going brave. Nobody's picking Chiefs versus Packers.
Oh yeah.
Watch that be it. Watch us all
Yeah.
be wrong.
Exactly. The one we didn't choose. Wouldn't
Get
be
fucked,
surprised
all of
somehow.
us.
You can't stop the reckoning of Bills Mafia.
The Super Bowl is actually going to end up being Weekend at Bernie's versus angry Aaron Rodgers. See, this is why we're all sitting back playing a video game and not actually covering fucking sports.
Yeah. Very true.
I think Tony Romo does the same thing. He did his best Scorpion impression this past week.
Oh, I heard that. That was iconic.
Just put me in.
I love the guy in the booth, man. He's fantastic.
I'm so glad that he retired football so he could start calling games. That guy is the best
Right.
thing to happen to NFL play calling since John
Yes.
Madden.
Yeah, he's a gem for sure.
I think they should have Snoop Dogg calling NFL game.
Nah, he found his niche. We need to keep him ringside.
He is good on the boxing commentary.
He knows what's going on.
Or better yet, John Madden's still alive. Let's just bring him back.
Yeah, just bring him back.
Who's he
John
going to be
Madden
calling
here.
plays with though? Who's going to be alongside him? Are we bringing in Jim Nance? Is he just going to replace Tony Romo?
Oh. I don't know. Why can't you have them both in one place?
Brett Favre.
Brett Favre and John
Brett
Madden
Favre.
calling the fucking game. That's going to be the most incomprehensible broadcast booth that's ever been put together.
He'll just
Aaron
keep saying
Rodgers
Brett
in the
Favre.
Super Bowl.
Brett Favre here. Brett
But
Favre.
you know who
here.
Aaron Rodgers reminds me of?
Brett Favre.
Brett Favre.
Yeah, Brett Favre.
He's a tough son of a gun. And before I forget, I have to say this: we got to give the old pour one out salute to our fallen comrade, GM for the Packers from 2005 to 2017, passed away just today. So everybody, pour one out for you homies.
Yep.
His very
Pouring
first act as GM, I can't say very first, but his first major thing that he did, his very first draft pick, Aaron fucking Rodgers. Since we've been talking about him,
paid off.
Yeah, he did it right.
Yeah.
They worked some magic. He held on to Mike McCarthy for objectively too fucking long, but goddamn if that man didn't know how to draft. So here's to our fallen comrade Ted Thompson. Cheers. I hope you find some peace in the afterlife. Everybody,
For sure.
Prost, motherfuckers.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And
yes.
and the other major headline from the last couple of days, Philip Rivers is retired, and all that I can say is fuck that guy.
He can finally settle down and start a family.
Yeah.
Work on his farm.
He's gonna go back home to his wife. It's gonna be a quiet household. Maybe they'll have a kid or two, or fucking 18, whatever the fuck they're at.
Sheesh, yeah.
I believe
Good
they
Christian
currently
family.
have 9.
I think it
my.
is 9, yeah.
Fuck that.
Kate and 8 plus 8.
That's one way to live. I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm just saying it's not the direction I would go.
You're right. I'm with you on that.
So Philip Rivers, enjoy retirement. You fucking fuck that guy. I cannot respect anybody, first, that's going to have that goddamn many kids, and second is going to watch his language that fiercely. Just oh heck, oh that was a heck of a tackle. Fuck off.
But I will say this: he has the 5th most passing yards out of any quarterback ever.
That is true, yeah.
Does that mean that he was good, or he just stuck around long enough?
It means he was good because he retired at 37 and not 43.
And
Okay, yeah.
he can still do math.
Can he do math though? Let's ask him if
Well,
he
he's
can
not-
remember all his kids' names.
Well, he's not brain dead.
Let's ask Patrick Mahomes if he can name all of his 0 kids' names. He's gonna say, "Oh,
we'll
I
ask that
remember
after.
Jamie, Curtis for sure. I don't have any kids. Oh shit.
Oh.
Let's just add another couple $1,000 to what we're giving the doctor." What final thoughts does anybody have before we close things up here at the tap room? I think a couple people here are selling the Packers short, but that's
Are you being a little bit... Is there some homerism coming through there, or...?
no. I think the Bucks are a good team. I just think that the Packers are better.
Yeah.
I have something to say. Blaine Gabbert, MVP.
That is an inside
MVP.
joke that we've had going for a long time. Blaine Gabbert is the greatest quarterback that was never given a chance in the NFL.
It's true.
He almost beat the Steelers this year, so I believe it.
Well, you know who he did beat? All
Who?
expectations of him being a good quarterback.
You're damn right. You're damn right.
But
But no, I think it'll be close. I don't know. I don't know if I can get with you thinking that it won't be close, but I think it could go either way. But I do think it is going to be a close game.
The Buccaneers don't have a great defense. The Packers are coming off of scoring 30 off of the best defense. It's going to be at home, in the elements, with fans in the stands. Aaron Rodgers is blazing fucking hot. Aaron Jones is playing like a man possessed. He just got a 60-yard run last week. And the Packers have something to play for. They want to get a win for David Bakhtiari. All that the Buccaneers have to play for is let's get a win for Florida. Yeah, because this is a state that's great at supporting its championship fucking teams.
Yeah, we'll see come Sunday. I'm excited to tune into both.
It's going to be a good game, but I think it's only going to be good for one set of fans.
Well, yeah. Definitely. At the end of the game, it's going to be good for one side of the fans.
There's the
one
most
way or the other.
general fucking fan-pleasing sentence that I have said in my goddamn life.
Right. At the end of the game, one team's going to have more points.
I think the Chiefs are going to surprise us with a mysterious quarterback. I think Tim Tebow is going to come out and play for them. I heard.
Oh,
That would be wild.
if you're gonna go out of left field, let's bring fucking Colin Kaepernick in. Let's fucking go, guys.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
If we're gonna
Just let the
bring
man play.
well, if we're gonna bring a spectacularly mediocre quarterback back from the abyss, let's just go all out here. Tim Tebow's
Let's prove that it wasn't the knee that ruined him.
Tim Tebow's a
just actually a bad
professional baseball
quarterback.
player. Come on, he's got his career.
He's got his Nike sponsorship. I don't know what he's making there, but
Oh, he's got to be making just a stupid amount of money. It's Nike we're talking about.
yeah.
And can we spend just 30 seconds acknowledging the absurdity of burning any apparel that you buy to make a statement?
Oh,
That is
gosh,
dumb.
yeah.
A pair of Nikes or a Nike uniform. That's shit's expensive.
Sticking it to him. Yeah, it's just a waste. It's just a waste. Donate it. If you're going to get rid of it, donate it.
Yep.
That is the peak of racial privilege in this country.
Oh, yeah.
There are people who don't have money to afford two sticks to rub together, but fucking I'm gonna burn a $150 pair of shoes because fuck Colin Kaepernick. That'll show him.
Yeah, that's going to keep him up at night.
No coming back from this one, Colin. This is what you get for having a stupid name.
And big hair.
Oh my god, that man's afro is getting out of fucking hand. Although maybe this is coming from a place of somebody who's just jealous of the fact that anybody is allowed to grow hair.
But on another side note, Resident Evil Village had their showcase today, and the game looks
right.
really good.
I have not looked at the trailer yet. I meant to tune in, but I forgot.
Does the panel have enough that they can go off of to form an educated opinion here, or should we just call it a day there?
Yeah, I watched the press conference, and if you played Resident Evil Biohazard, it's the same first-person puzzle fight. It's vintage Resident Evil. There's vampires, there's werewolves. I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
It looks scary as hell.
I haven't seen a goddamn thing about it. I don't pay attention to horror things because they don't do anything for me. That's one of my earliest streaming stories. I think it was my very first stream. I was playing Outlast. I gave it away for free, and I was streaming direct on the PlayStation 4, like you do. I got up to 5 viewers, which for like my very first time streaming a game ever, I was stoked. I was like, oh man, this is crazy. And then there was the first major jump scare. Spoilers if you haven't seen it. The big hulking mammoth of a creature, Walker, comes out of nowhere. He like drops down from the ceiling or something, and you're supposed to freak out a little bit. I had no reaction, and everybody left.
Oops.
Didn't put on a big enough reaction, I guess.
Yeah, you didn't put on a fake streamer reaction.
I gotta shit my pants for the content.
Right.
Probably just picking up her shit.
And I did not stream after that for 2 years. So things are going well on my third attempt at this garbage.
For sure. Hey, third time's a charm, you know?
Oh, you're goddamn right. Well, with that, I think we can afford to wrap things up for this episode of the Happy Hour. Everybody from the panel, thank you all so much for being here. Again, we had with us Shadow Inception, aka Brandon, joining late, and from the very beginning we had Caden95, whose name is obviously Charles.
No, most of it wasn't. I think that's what.
Yeah.
And finally, Dakota over there. And we obviously wish you nothing but the best recovering, and hoping that that it doesn't take too long. You get over it. You don't have any long-lasting effects for our regular here in the tap room. Wish him the best of luck kicking this thing in the ass. And everybody that joined in, that listened, that has made it this far, thank you so much. You are why I do this. Again, I am your bartender. My name is Brew. Thank you so much for joining me today. I cannot wait to see you again next time in the tap room at Happy Hour.